Tonight, massacre in Parkland.
Oh my God!
The UM community is mourning the deaths of people in one South Florida high school and searching for answers on what they can do to prevent a similar tragedy and a nationwide plague.
We've seen little kids that have upper respiratory infections and they become severely ill.
A seasonal disease has turned into a deadly epidemic, and the numbers of sick are rising in Florida. We'll tell you what you can do to stay healthy. And later on, the story behind Drake's gift.
You kept sounding like you're an angel, you know, like you were literally like a vessel that God used to like give me a blessing.
An exclusive look into one student's journey from trial to triumph.
Good evening. You're watching NewsVision. I'm Nate Derbacher.
And I'm Chantel Batista. Thank you so much for joining us. One of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history happened yesterday afternoon, less than an hour away from campus. At least 17 people, many of them students, were killed when a teenage gunman opened fire inside of a high school in Parkland, Florida.
And today, the University of Miami's students, faculty, and staff join the rest of the country in mourning for those victims. Our reporter Rebecca Chung is live at the UM Counseling Center, which is one of the places here on campus where students can find someone to talk to about this tragedy. Rebecca?
On Valentine's Day, most students expect to receive gifts from loved ones. But for students at one South Florida high school, a holiday of love took a tragic turn. What started as a day of love for thousands of high school students in Parkland, Florida, ended in gunshots.
Oh my God!
17 students are dead and more than 20 are injured. The shooter, a former student we now know as 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, opened fire at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Wednesday afternoon. Several shots fired that sounded an alarm for students nationwide. Authorities say Cruz pulled a fire alarm, sending students and staff outside, unaware of the tragedy that awaited them beyond the school's walls.
On Valentine's Day, everyone was happy, spreading love, and it just crashed down so quick.
Cruz then ran inside to shoot several more students hiding in classrooms and school closets.
We were just on the phones, looking for whatever we can. We all texted our parents, making sure everyone could make sure we were okay.
Tonight, students and teachers are calling on government officials to take action.
People are going to keep saying, oh, this is just another shooting. It's never going to happen to me. But what happens is when you don't take action, things like this eventually will happen to you. And that's not acceptable. And that's why I call on people to stand up, talk to their congressmen, talk to people, and don't stop fighting, because children will continue to die if we don't take a stand now.
University of Miami President Julio Frank released a letter earlier today with a list of resources for students who are shaken by this tragic event, a shooting that many say we should have seen coming.
Whatever caused this, it was caused by hate, pure confusion, and my sympathy goes out for the individual that did this, because obviously he was really wronged in a way, and he was obviously mistreated.
Some of the photos you just saw were released from the gunman's deleted Instagram profile. Authorities say the FBI was warned months in advance about the shooter's threatening comments made online, but were unable to locate him. More details on the shooter were released earlier today. The gunman was adopted by 2 Florida residents after both of his parents died. He was expelled from Douglas High School and was part of the JROTC program at the school. The gunman was also able to pass a background check and purchase an AR-15 rifle, which he used yesterday. The gunman appeared in court earlier today, where the judge ruled that he will be held without bond. He has been charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder. UM President Julio Frank released a letter to the UM community earlier today. He listed several resources for students who are experiencing stress or anxiety at this time. One of them is right here behind me, the UM Counseling Center, located on the 5500 block of George E. Merrick Street. Some of the other resources that were mentioned include the Chaplains Association, the Dean of Students Office, and the Faculty Staff Assistance Program. I spoke with Vice President of Student Affairs Pat Whiteley, who says the department is working with a group of students from Douglas High School to set up a vigil here on campus for next Tuesday night. For now, students are encouraged to reach out to University of Miami's police department if they spot anything unusual on campus. Reporting live from the University of Miami Counseling Center, I'm Rebecca Chung, UMTV.
Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, Chantel, it's very scary to see something hit so close to home.
Definitely, Nate. I mean, I'm just here thinking about, Florida State University shooting, then we have Sandy Hook. Just time and time again, we continue to see these things on different types of educational institutions and on campuses. So I can't even imagine what these students are going through, and our thoughts are with them.
And we have more breaking news tonight. After a slew of plot twists in this year's student government elections, the University of Miami has finally elected its new set of student leaders.
Our reporter Jihad Shatara joins us now live from the Student Government Suite to tell us more. Jihad, tell us what happened.
Thanks, Nate. I'm here at the Student Government Suite where election results have just been posted. UFirst has won all 3 of the executive seats despite running unopposed. I was able to catch up with newly elected President Evan De Hoya. Here's what he had to say.
Okay, we got it. Okay. Process. But it's been humbling to be able to talk to all sorts of different students on this campus and hear what to them really makes the University of Miami a great place. So it's been rewarding. It hasn't been without its difficulties as any process like this would be, but it's exciting.
His running mates included Catherine De Freitas, the newly elected vice president, Rafael Coriello, who's the newly elected treasurer. Some things they want to get done together: subsidize Uber and Lyft rides for students to make them free, and add on-campus dining, among other things that they want to do for students.
Well, Jihad, it's great to see students stepping up to the plate and representing student interests here on campus.
It's really great to see that. Jihad, so tell us who won the race for the legislative branch positions.
Now, 19 total candidates were on that ballot, but 13 were vying for Senate seats. The biggest one and most competitive ballot was actually the School of Business seat. That was won by Jasmine DeCock. Congratulations to her. But if you want to see the full list of winners, go to sg.miami.edu. Reporting live from the Shalala Student Center, I'm Jihad Shatara.
Thanks, Jihad.
And NewsVision will be bringing you the latest news on student government throughout the rest of the semester.
This year, flu season in the United States has been labeled as the worst in the last decade. The flu season is more than 11 weeks in, and since the season began, Americans have been hospitalized at a rate of 59 people per 100,000 people. At least 4,000 people have died from related flu diseases, including more than 60 children in the United States alone. The flu season is expected to last at least another 5 weeks, so our reporter Brianna Nesperl tried to find out how it's affecting our campus and what students can do to not get sick. Brianna joins us now in the studio with more details.
Thanks, Chantel. Yes, flu season is here and its impact is being felt across the country. Over 10,000 cases have already been reported this season. This is twice as many as this time last year, and it's affecting us right here on campus as well.
The United States is being ravaged by its worst flu season in years. Every day, the flu is spreading and killing more and more people. The outbreak has already reached every single state in the continental country. One University of Miami student had one of the worst cases on campus. What started off as just exhaustion led to her skipping the whole first week of school.
I started feeling really weird, but I didn't think it was the flu. I just felt dizzy and sort of nauseous, and and I thought it was just from like lack of sleep from the week and stuff like that. So I went to the health center about 3 days after it started, and they told me I had type A influenza.
The flu has sent more than twice as many people to the hospital than at this time last year. According to the Center of Disease Control, 1 in 10 deaths in this country is currently being caused by the flu or pneumonia. 1 in 13 doctor visits have been due to flu symptoms. The CDC says the number of patients may reach record levels, and we have not yet reached the peak of flu season. This vast outbreak is affecting Dr. Perez Fernandez at his practice in Miami.
We've seen significant worsening scenarios. We've seen little kids that have upper respiratory infections, and they become severely ill and critically ill and have come to the hospital, and they've been connected to artificial life support. We're seeing adults, young and elderly adults, that have been suffering these consequences of the flu. It's more than just a normal epidemic that we have every year.
Honestly, I don't ever remember feeling this sick. I've never had the flu in my life, never gotten a flu shot either, so it's never been an issue for me. So I really just couldn't even get out of bed. I was so weak at some points, like I had to ask my roommates to like bring me medicine because I couldn't stand up, and I was like shaking from the fever uncontrollably.
Students on campus are trying to take care of themselves and prevent themselves from getting the flu.
I've just been drinking a lot of water, eating healthy foods, getting a lot of sleep, just really taking care of my body and taking care of myself.
I did take my flu shot, and just keeping aware of who has the flu and kind of making sure like I stay away from them.
There are many ways to prevent yourself from getting the flu. This includes drinking a lot of water, getting vitamin C, washing your hands frequently, and even using hand sanitizer multiple times a day. But there's one thing that doctors recommend above all else.
For those of you who have not been or not received the vaccine, I think it's quite important that you all go to your primary care physician or your healthcare institution to get vaccinated.
While the effectiveness of the flu vaccine can vary, the CDC says that the flu shot can reduce the risk of getting the flu by about 50%. The Lennar Medical Center is offering flu shots for all University of Miami students, so be sure to take advantage of that service. I'm Brianna Nesbra, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Brianna. I'm definitely going to try to get my flu shot tomorrow.
I actually already got mine. What about you, Dave?
I've been lucky enough to not ever get the flu, mostly because I've been a healthy individual throughout my entire life. I've actually never gotten the flu vaccine throughout my 18 years, but that's not the case around the country. 49 of the 50 states here are in a widespread outbreak, the only exception being Oregon, which is under a regional outbreak. But turning back to weather here, some shortwave energy associated with the cold front moving across the Midwest, and that's what we'll be talking about in the main weather. Coming up, we'll take the first glimpse of the 2018 severe weather, how tonight will be a great night to go out, and how the sun will stick around for this weekend. Guys?
Thanks, Dave. I'm glad to see that we've finally got some nice weather headed our way, Chantel.
I know, I can't wait. But before then, from tribulation to triumph, how one student's story of perseverance led her to the opportunity of a lifetime. This and much more after the short break. Don't go away.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
The hype surrounding Drake's surprise visit to campus last week may have died down a bit, but many are still wondering who is the student that received a $50,000 scholarship from the rapper. UMTV reporter Kate Hoven introduces us to her.
Just last week, students at the University of Miami were stunned to find Grammy-winning artist Drake on campus. Now, pictures and videos are all that's left of this surprise visit. But for one student at UM, Drake's visit turned into the gift of a lifetime, and something she likely will never forget. 20-year-old Destiny James is the recipient of a $50,000 scholarship. She applied for scholarships in the spring of her sophomore year and hadn't thought much about her essay since then. The essay was originally for a scholarship offered by the Black Alumni Society, and somehow it got into the hands of Drake's team. But James isn't just a lucky superfan. In fact, her story is one of struggle. She grew up in public housing in a small town in South Carolina where she says resources were lacking and the chances for bigger opportunities were few and far between. And even after she defied the odds and enrolled at the University of Miami, her hardships only continued.
So like freshman year itself was rough. One, because I hated my major. Like, I don't care, I hated it. And then like 2 months into freshman year, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. It was like stage 4, so like it was pretty bad. 2 weeks after I finished freshman year, my dad passed.
And since she was raised by a single mother, most of Destiny's struggles were financial as well. And that's where the scholarship essay came in. In her essay, she wrote about how she never really had the time to focus on being a student with so much on her plate. And she'd almost forgotten about the essay when 1 year later, Drake surprised her. But even before that day, her closest friends knew she deserved to be recognized.
I think Destiny's best quality would probably have to be the fact that she's a good listener. Like, she'll probably have so many things going on, but she'll still take the time to hear you out or hear anything that's going on with your life in order to like alleviate some of your stress as well.
Now, James hopes her story will help propel other students forward more than anything else.
I didn't give up, and I didn't let my circumstances like get the best of me, even though I thought they were. Like, looking back on it, it's like I really didn't, you know. I just don't want people to give up. Like, a lot of times, like, people use like negative things against us, and I've always been the one to like flip it and use it as like fire to like fuel to my fire, you know. So like, oh, low income home, single parent, like I live in public housing, all of that, and it's like I could easily like ask for pity or like feel down about it and make it a negative thing, but instead like I choose not to. Like.
And as for Drake, James only has one thing to say to him.
I kept telling him like, you're an angel, you know, like you were literally like a vessel that God used to like give me a blessing. And so it's like, I'm more than just a fan now. Like, I think you're the most amazing person in the world.
For UMTV, I'm Kate Hovan.
The surprise of a lifetime for such an extremely hardworking girl. I really am happy for her.
Me too, and I'll definitely be sure to look out for Destiny when Drake's new music video drops. But first, we have more coming up on today's show. Baseball Fan Fest is a yearly event that kicks off baseball. Lifelong fan who is a little over the mound.
Stick around to find out about his UM roots, which date back all the way to the 1940s.
Miami, you are clear to take off.
Thanks for staying with us here on NewsVision. I'm your meteorologist for this week, Dave Downey. As we can see, the big weather story has been the above average temperatures that we're dealing with right here. 77 here in Dallas, 63 here in Wichita, and 65 in Columbus. That's about 25 degrees above average for this time of year, which is fueling the marginal risk of severe weather across much of the Midwest and the Upper Ohio Valley. Cincinnati, Louisville, Bloomington, maybe Indianapolis included in that marginal risk. Maybe just a strong severe wind gust, possibly a spin up. Nothing crazy as it is February. My mom sent me this picture in from Mount Vernon, Ohio, about an inch of rain encompassing the grass right there. Look at that fog right there in the background. A lot different than what we're dealing with here right now. Looking at the live radar out here in Wilmington in Ohio, some showers moving their way through the northern part. And we'll see if any of these showers down here in the tri-state area will become severe or not. As we take a look down here, there's nothing to worry about. Sunny skies, clear. Absolutely nothing to worry about tonight. As we are sitting at 74 degrees right now, dew point comfortably at 59, making the relative humidity at 59%. Light winds out of the east at around 8 miles per hour. The daily almanac today, we hit 82 for the high, 67 was our low. That's about 4 or 5 degrees above our average, 78, 62. This is the normal. Low back in 1943 was 36. That is nothing like what it was today out there. If you are going out tonight to the Grove, 71 at 10 and 70 here at 1. It's going to be a great night, clear skies, absolutely nothing to worry about if you do choose to go out tonight. For tomorrow's forecast, we'll be sitting at about 81 degrees here. It'll be a beautiful start to the weekend, and we'll have wind out of the southeast around 10 miles per hour. Looking at the 7-day forecast, low to mid 80s for the next 7 days. Lows will work their way up into the middle 70s as winds will pick up on Monday and Tuesday. And cloudy conditions will also return too. But guys, there'll be no precipitation at all within the next 7 days. So a great weekend for the beach and going into next week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Dave. Well, guys, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend, and it might even be nice enough to go out into the beach.
And not just a beautiful weekend for the beach, but also a beautiful weekend for our Canes baseball team to kick off their season.
That's right, guys. The Canes baseball team is actually going to be hitting the diamond this weekend. And fans are looking for some good things out there, especially after a rough night at the Watsco Center a few days ago. Miami basketball faced off against top-ranked Virginia on Tuesday. Two of the best defensive teams in the ACC lived up to their names in a low-scoring matchup. Let's jump right into the first quarter here. Check out Chris Likes, had a career-high 19, misses there as Dundu with the rebound, gets the dunk to go. Canes coming back, still down double digits in the third quarter. They got it to within 3, but Kyle Guy, this guy right here, that's their leading scorer, gets the floater to go, pretty much led Virginia to get that lead right back up, and here was the nail in the coffin. DeAndre Hunter, who had a game-high 22, hits the 3 and 1, pretty much sealing the deal there for Virginia. Canes fall to 18-7, lose 59-50 to Virginia. The Canes fall to a record, like I just said, of 18-7. They've lost 2 in a row, falling out of the top 25 rankings. Consistency has been an issue, especially since losing starting guard Bruce Brown to injury. And now to baseball. We got the Canes baseball season starting tomorrow for the Hurricanes. They host Rutgers, starting the quest for the College World Series in Omaha. Miami just missed the cut last season, the postseason last year, breaking a 44-year streak. But Coach Jim Morris is ready for a new streak in Miami in his 25th and final season at UM. Morris reflected on his career at Media Day.
A unique year for me being my last year of coaching. I've had a uniform on since I was 8 years old. So I know next year will be even more emotional when I'm sitting out there watching.
Morris led UM to national championships in 1999 and 2001. Under his leadership, the Hurricanes have consistently been one of the most dominant programs in the country. Staying on the topic of baseball, Miami actually kicked off their season with their annual Fan Fest last weekend. Local fans and former players came together for the celebration. Hurricanes PA announcer J-Ro, honored each alumni, but the team always saves one name for last.
Larry Adams is one of 94 University of Miami alumni that were honored at Marklight Field last Saturday. But he isn't just any former Cane. He is the oldest one there. At 91 years old, Adams has cemented his legacy.
So Adams pitched on a mound, much like the one right next to me, back in the late 1940s on one of the first Miami Hurricanes baseball teams ever. He says he has never missed an alumni game.
I know the program has just continued to grow, and it's really an honor to not only go to this school and play baseball, but to be an alum and just come to this game, nevertheless having played in it.
Adams played for the Canes from 1947 to 1949, after briefly serving in the U.S. Air Force. But his life has stretched far past the baseball diamond. In 1949, Florida Power and Light Company hired Adams, mainly to play in their corporate baseball league. Little did they know, Adams would have a 42-year career there. He started as a lineman, digging ditches, and worked his way up to senior vice president.
My dad is a totally self-made man. You know, Horatio Alger's story. He started at the bottom of the totem pole. An amazing work ethic.
From that moment on, he dedicated his life to community service. His work has been recognized all over the country. Multiple former U.S. presidents have praised his accomplishments. But Adams' biggest passion has always been for his family.
My dad has the highest energy level of any human being I've ever met. And he's the most positive human being I've ever met.
His wife, his son, his granddaughter, and his great-granddaughter Leah all attended the alumni game celebration. 4 generations, all there enjoying each other's company. It's the norm for this family.
Birthday to you, and many more.
Leah just turned 4 years old and already has an inseparable bond with her great-grandpa, who she calls Gigi Larry.
Other Gigi. She calls her both Gigi.
Oh, I'm gonna fall down. Oh, where's the lion? Oh, lion, don't hurt. Don't get me, lion. No, don't get me.
Adams is reminded where it all started every February, right back at UM. Reporting in Coral Gables, I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez, UMTV. Adam and his wife Betsy have been married for 66 years. The whole family celebrated his birthday last Sunday, and they say they make plans to see each other just about every weekend. But baseball is America's pastime, right? So we have to talk to fans. Are Miami students ready for the season? UMTV reporter Josh White went around campus to find out.
What are you most excited for about baseball season?
I'm really excited to watch the game. I mean, last season wasn't great for us, so I'm excited for them to try to turn it around this season and get back to what they used to be.
Winning the College World Series.
Seeing the little kids run around the bases on Sundays.
Hitting the balls.
Who is your favorite player on the baseball team?
Alex Rodriguez.
Romy Gonzalez is my favorite player.
The Pirate, Hunter Tackett.
I actually don't know the players, but I'm rooting for the shortest guy in it.
What's your favorite type of shake at Marklight Field?
The chocolate one.
I'd probably have to go with the J-Row.
I plead the fifth on that one, I'm sorry.
Probably the chocolate peanut butter is my favorite type.
Oreo.
Who do you think the most attractive guy on the team is?
Jim Morrison.
Definitely Steve.
They're all attractive.
I'd rather not say. That's a tough question to answer.
With opening day coming up on Friday at 7 p.m. against Rutgers, UM students might want to brush up on their baseball knowledge before heading to Marklight Field. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Josh White.
You know, you gotta love the confidence of those singers. Remember, Hurricanes baseball plays at 7 p.m. tomorrow night against Rutgers at Marklight Field. That's all we got for sports.
Well, thank you, Isaiah. And still ahead, faculty and staff compete for the 5th year in a row for a charity fundraiser that is hosted by UM's LGBTQ student organization.
Students are already gathered at the Student Shillelagh Center ballrooms to watch the show. We'll be right back.
We taught them how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
One of UM's fiercest events is back for another year.
That's right. Tonight is Spectrum's Drag Out. Drag queens and kings have come to the Shillelagh Student Center from all over. UMTV's reporter Tommy Fletcher is there with more. Tommy, what's going on?
Well, the doors just opened here. The audience is coming in. They're getting their dollar bills ready, and the performers are backstage getting ready to walk the catwalk that you can see behind me. This is UM's 5th drag out competition, and so far this year, 13 students have signed up to perform. There's also going to be 2 professional drag queens performing, and for the first time, a drag king will be performing tonight. We talked to organizers who said that's not the only new thing you can expect this year.
So it'll be bigger, better, flashier. We'll have a much larger stage. We have a very long, like 40-foot catwalk that we're going to do this year, which will be great for our finale number, which will be new. And we're also bringing in a drag king from outside the university for the first time this year.
Well, doors just opened here a few minutes ago. The show doesn't start until 8 o'clock, so if you want to come out here, you still have time. Admission is free, but visitors are asked to bring dollar bills for tip money for the performers. That's because this is a fundraiser. Half of the money will be going to Spectrum, and the other half will be donated to the Alliance for GLBT Youth. Reporting live in the Shillelagh Student Center for UMTV, I'm Tommy Fletcher.
Thank you, Tommy. I sure hope to see a lot of people come out to Drag Out.
And I definitely hope that they raise a lot of money. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Have a great night.